place.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
Keep talking.
Keep talking, because my mic is hot.
I think we got it figured out now.
There we go.
Okay, maybe I do need it.
All right, perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Progressive Auto Sales Arena for another OHL hockey with the Sarnia Sting against the Guelph Storm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And before we get talking about the hockey, though, I want to talk about, I don't know if you saw, we did a live stream from Match Eatery at the Point Ever Casino the other day.
Yep.
And we had the four captains, if you will, Ryan McGregor, of course,
yep.
John Johnson, Kelton Hatcher, and Jameson Reese there answering some questions.
Outstanding.
It was a lot of fun. And
I can imagine.
Ben
Unfortunately, couldn't
even
go.
showed up on the.
Did it? Oh,
well,
very
he
nice.
showed up on the stream to ask them some questions. and he was actually sitting in the audience tweeting his comment. He wanted to know which one was their favorite rookie. And
of course,
I think he got a 3 out of 4 on it. Kelton Hatcher said somebody else. I forget who that.
Yeah. Well, and if you saw Gaudreau play versus London the other night in London against the Knights, he stood on his head again. Like, I mean,
were you down there for that? Or?
I didn't. I see. I do the away when there's an away game and I have actual time to watch it. I buy it online. It's like $6.50 or something like that, and you can get the stream, right? Yeah, 100%. So I did watch it at home, the whole thing. What a game! It was.
Ryan McGregor was the only goal.
Crazy, I know, and it was a great goal too.
Yeah.
It was a great goal. I mean, textbook. But you know, I've never been a fan of Hunter hockey.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. Some people call it gritty. I just think gritty is dirty. I mean, there's a lot of things I wouldn't want to do with grit in it. Let me tell you. And
really?
they've achieved an art form at it, and I just there was and you could see how the referees lost control of that game early on, because they started getting away with more and more and more, and ultimately end up with like the Bud Gardens is made where they have only one entrance and exit onto the ice. And the teams share it, and typically the referees will stop one team from going out until the other team has made it to the dressing room. Then they let the other team go out the same way. But in this particular case, both teams were headed to the opening at the same time, and they were already hot over a number of things that happened at the game.
All right.
And let's just say a melee ensued. And it was something that could absolutely have been avoided, but it happened. And I don't like that kind of hockey where London has so much talent. They don't need to play like that in order to win games, but they do anyway.
Come out and show your skills.
So
instead.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Like, it's real easy when you're playing a team like the Sting that are struggling for the season and stuff, and to utilize a strategy of we're going to get in their heads, we're going to get in their jerseys, we're going to be dragging on their sticks, we're going to be hauling them down and cheap shotting them when we can, and really get into and aggravating that poke the bear thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They played like that anyway, and I'm like, why would you do that? You got enough skill on that team to play a good version of hockey.
Fair enough. However,
it makes me nuts. Well, sure, we lost.
Yeah.
I mean, but
so why did we allow that to happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we do a lot of talking here. Right?
We do a lot of talking for sure.
And there isn't a moment in my head that doesn't go, that they don't realize this stuff. I mean, the Sarnia Sting and the coaching staff.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the coaching staff's very experienced, so they're having these conversations.
Absolutely.
Don't let them get in your head, guys. Don't let them do that. But then when you're out there,
it's a whole different story. Absolutely.
It's like rehearsal for the play,
yep.
and then when you're at, holy crap, we're live. Here we go.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a whole different emotion.
And who knows what's going to happen?
So,
absolutely.
Who knows? Hey, how are you? So yeah, I know.
But anyway,
I'll never be out on the ice.
it was a rough game to watch. I mean, you know, I think that for the most part, when we weren't busy being rattled, I think there was a lot of good moments in our game, and certainly Gaudreau. I mean, that was the other thing too, right? The unfortunate part is when you're streaming an away game, you get the voices of the local
team,
the local team calling the game, and man, I just do we sound like that? Are we like all pro Sting at the expense of every other team?
Well,
I don't know.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I was listening to part of the game.
Okay.
With our friends Lee Cunningham and Patrick DeRoche, and when London got a goal. Of course, we're listening to Lee on CHOK.
Yeah.
He was exciting, but if it was a Sting goal.
Yeah, well, no, and I get that we do that. I get that we do that, but I mean, these guys, really. But these commentators were like,
obvious?
Oh, it was blatant. It was like, oh, those Sarnia Sting. Oh, those terrible Sting. Yeah. They deserved every minute of that. And you know, I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, they'd get a penalty against them. Well, the one penalty they got against them, right? And it's like, oh, come on. Yeah. It can't be. But every penalty this Sting got, oh, man, they deserve to have the book thrown at them. It was just crazy. I just thought it was really lopsided.
I did hear some of that.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you know what? I'm a Sting fan, and I've always been a Sting. But I would never begrudge someone else coming into our arena with a Guelph Storm gear on or a London Knights team. You know what I mean?
You know, but we have that opportunity even here. You know, when we talk about the Stars, of course you're a Sting fan, right?
Yep.
We want the Sting. I want the Sting to win. However,
I want to see good hockey from both teams.
We do talk good fairness about whatever other team.
Absolutely.
And we give them credit where credit is due.
And we talk about the struggles that our team is having as well. You know, places we could improve and things. So, you know, and I mean. Again, like I look at the Knights and I'm saying, you know what, like this is a talented team. You know, the one thing that the Hunter brothers are really, really good at is finding those diamonds in the rough. They can find a 6th-round draft pick, and this person turns out to be in the next OHL Superstar. Right? They are really good at that. They know where to find talent, and that's not something we've fallen into yet, which, you know, and maybe that's a unique skill set for the Hunters. Great, good for them. You know, but then why they continue to play that sort of overly gritty, overly aggressive style of hockey, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, good point.
Anyway.
Let's talk about the draft, though. I mean, you're coming into next season.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody really, we don't want to talk about that yet. We're talking about today. No.
Yeah.
I think even the Sting staff and coaching staff is looking ahead and going, okay, where are we putting ourselves over into the next 2 years? So fair enough to look ahead. And is that's something you're talking about, the drafting skill to be able to have, you know, obviously looking around at this team that we have currently, I think there's some skill there that we would hope to see again next year. Yep. Obviously we're going to lose Captain Ryan McGregor. We're going to lose some significant experience next year. But I do see, and I want to make a prediction. Is it wrong for me to predict the captain? No, predict away. I think Sam Bitton would be a great captain. You know what? I like Sam Bitten's play. I do. Because you're right. I think Bitton is one of those guys, and we're going to have him for another year or two. Yep. And I think he's one of those guys that's got a level of determination. Yes. That, you know, really is something to help hopefully inspire the rest of the team. Yeah. And I don't know what Sam's like in the locker room, because that's the other thing, right? When you're choosing a captain for a team, you have to pick somebody that has a good work ethic on and off the ice,
but is also respected in the locker room, because the rest of the team needs to be able to look up to him, and be able to sort of rally in behind him, who will be leading the charge. So I don't know enough about Sam in the locker room, but certainly from up here, I think that he would be a great choice.
Okay, so there's that. The reason that I feel that way is because I haven't been in the locker room, but I've been around him enough, talking to him, just to get a sense of who he is. I've heard him talking to other players,
right,
and I've heard others talking about him in a positive way.
Good.
And the name just keeps coming up.
Yep.
And when the name keeps coming up, I think that's what I call a big clue.
Yeah, sure it is. That's a good sign for sure.
But again, behind closed doors, who knows?
Yeah.
And I think the coaching staff obviously right now that's something they're going to be looking at. Is
for sure.
Who's going to take that leadership role coming into the next season? And I think there's a couple there, but Sam Bitton is definitely one that stands out on my mind.
I think so.
I hope to see that. So. Talk about the scratches today as well. Notably, Ty Voigt is not back, and Theo Hill is off.
And that hurts.
So
Theo's had a couple of really strong games in the latter part of the season, I think.
And there's
absolutely.
Another one that
I think we can expect more from him next year for sure.
I would see him in a leadership role as well. So.
Yep.
So Ben Gaudreau is starting in between the goal pipes here tonight as well, and looking to have Braden Guy. And, that's terrible. Braden Guy, Ryan McGregor, and Jacob Perreault starting off in the line.
And that's a good, that's a decent lineup. But again, you know what? Here we are again, having to shuffle up the lines a little bit because of people that we have out on injury or suspensions and all that kind of stuff. I think, that really has been the story of the season, is our inability to find any kind of a groove, any kind of a synthesis, any kind of a, team gelling amongst line mates to create some consistency in terms of offensive power or defensive pairings, because you never know who's off now, and we've been juggling lines like crazy.
I've been calling
it's real hard,
and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I've been calling them the stock market team. Up and down,
sure.
Not sure which
lots and lots, absolutely.
So, but not for lack of trying to make the right bet,
Right.
They've worked hard.
So hi, family.
And,
hi, family. Jack.
Oh.
See that? This is my family.
Oh, okay.
Mom and my son Jack,
Mom.
and
yeah. Good to see you here.
See, yeah.
That's good.
Anyway,
they were walking by. They didn't even recognize you.
I know. They just kept walking right on by.
Yeah, come on over.
And Buddy Kevin. Hi? Yeah.
Come on over.
We're live stream on Facebook, right? And Facebook and Twitter and all over the place right now. Come here.
Come on in here.
Come here.
Yeah, come on in and say hi.
So, this is my son Jack.
Okay, hi, Jack.
This is my son Jack. Yeah, he's my oldest. He just he's 19. Can you believe it?
Oh, I know how
I know. It's woohoo! Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay, guys.
We'll see you.
We'll see you in a bit. Anyway.
Well, that's good timing anyway. Sarnia Sting about getting ready to come out. The 7 skaters out there right now. And we're going to go up to the media booth, keep an eye on things. And I'm sure our friend Jay Peckham is going to be back for the rest of the day here to give us his fan perspective.
My fan perspective.
Look for the smile or the frown, and then you'll know what we're going to be talking about here as we continue on that.
Well, I'm hoping we have a good game. I really do.
You're predicting a win.
Well, of course. Absolutely. I'm predicting a win.
We are also now live on Twitter as well, so I'll be checking the comments on Facebook and Twitter, and if you've got any of that, make sure you put them in the comments. We'll reply to them. The next time we come live, at the end of period 1, is the Sarnia Sting. Get ready to take on the Guelph Storm here at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. For the show live on location, I'm David Burrows and my good friend Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!